Good morning. Good morning. So, welcome back after your half yearly exams. I hope you all have done well. So, today we are going to start with a new topic, that is if statement. But before starting with that topic, I will discuss the question paper with you. Okay. So, we will first discuss the question paper, and then now results would be declared only after we get some official instruction from above. Okay, so don't worry about that, but I can at least discuss the question paper with you. So I'm going to share my screen now. So here we are with the question paper. So we come to the first question. Okay, collection of raw facts and figures which are collected for specific purpose is called, you can see the correct answer is data. Program counter contains the address of next information to be fetched. Tell me the answer for the third one. Which of the following is not a hardware component?
Operating system.
Yes,
Operating
operating
system.
system. Yes, correct answer. You can check your answer here. Which of the following input device is not a pointing device?
Scanner.
Yes, it is
Scanner.
scanner. Yes. Fourth question, it is scanner. Fifth question,
Compiler.
Compiler.
yes, very good. Correct answer is compiler. Sixth question,
Linkers.
linker. It's quite obvious. Linking word, it can be linked to linker. Question number 7, answer I've already clicked on it. It is device queue. Queue contains the queue of processes waiting for availability of certain input or output device. Question number 8.
Private cloud.
Yes, it is private cloud, a cloud or computing resources which are exclusively owned by a business or organization. Python is a cross-platform language, open source language, and free language. All of the above. Is Python case sensitive when dealing with identifiers?
Yes.
Yes. Answer is yes. Question number 11. Dash mode in Python is used to type all the commands and save them.
Script.
Script mode.
Script mode. Question number 12.
Jupyter
Jupyter.
Notebook.
Jupyter
Yes,
Notebook.
Jupyter Notebook. What is the maximum?
79
31
characters.
characters.
And 79
Are
characters.
you sure 79 characters?
31.
We don't have, there is no limit to the length of any identifier. Okay, there is no limit to the number of characters you are using until and unless your memory runs out. Okay, so I have purposely, deliberately, I had given this question. I first found out about it, and there is no limit. In other languages, still you will find a limit of 30 characters. Somewhere you will find 100 characters, 255 characters, but in Python, there is no limit. 14. Which of the following is invalid? Answer is none of the mentioned. All of them are valid. Sorry. You can see that there is a single underscore here and rest there are double underscore characters. So that doesn't matter if your identifier is beginning with an underscore character or if it is beginning with a letter, it is fine. Question number 15.
First string.
Are you sure? First string. You can
Second
see
option.
Second one, first one is following all the rules for naming identifiers. It is beginning with a letter, it doesn't have any space or special character other than underscore, contains digits. Okay. Second one is beginning with
First,
a digit, which is against the rules. Third one is also fine. Fourth one is also fine because this is neither a number nor any space. It's just an underscore character. What will be the output produced by this code? Answer
Ma'am,
is,
second option.
my dear, take a very good look at this. Okay, you have print, Ola and end equals space. Okay, so first of all, the inner print will be executed. Okay, the print which is inside, that will be executed first. So what will be printed? Ola will be printed. But after this, there has to be a space. That is, the end character is a space, which says that whatever output follows, it will be printed on the same line. So now this inner print will be executed. Okay, after this is executed, now because this print is also a function and it doesn't return any value, so the outer print doesn't get any valid value to print, so it prints what? The value none. Okay, and it will print the value none in the same line because there is an end over here. End has been changed to space, तो end के बाद जो कुछ भी मिलेगा वो same line पे ही print होगा. And because it is a space, so there has to be a single space in between. It won't be the second option, it won't be the third option, and absolutely not the fourth option. Got it? You have to even take care of a small space, right? Next, if num1 is 7 and num2 is 3, then what shall be the result of num1 modulus num2? Because 7 is an integer, 3 is
One.
also an integer. Okay,
1.
so it will be 1, not 1.0. First two options are totally out of league. There could be a tie, a confusion between the third and the fourth option. So here answer is the third option. Why? Because num1 and num2 are integer, hence it returns the remainder also in integers. What could be the problem? We had discussed this question if you remember. Consider the following code. Name equals input. What is your name? So you will be entering your name here. Print hi name. So suppose name is Ananya. So print hi Ananya, and after that there is a comma. Take a look at this. There is a comma. Okay. Whenever you get questions like these, you should not change, you should try not to change anything, not to remove anything. Okay. Change will be there because you are obviously making some correction, but there shouldn't be any removal, okay, of code. Print how are you doing. So this will be printed on the next line. Why? Because end character is by default new line character. It was supposed to be printed like this. Hi Ananya, comma, how are you doing? So for what should we do for this? Which option should you choose for this?
Ma'am, third one.
Third option.
Yes, third option. Hi name end equals comma. Take a look at this. Someone asked me that end equals space will also work, but remember, I'm not going to remove anything from here. Clearly you can see that the output which was required was, which was expected was this. Hi, whatever name, after that a comma was required. And after that the message, right? So that is the reason the third option is going to be the correct one. Next is predict the output. Right now, if you have your copies, quickly solve it again and tell me the answer.
Option 1.
Yes, it is option 1. A, B, C, 10, 20, 30. Then you have P, Q, R, C, where P will be equal to C minus 5. C is 30. 30 minus 5, that is 25. So you can see P value over here, 25. Then Q equals A plus 3, that is 10 plus 3, that is 13. And R equals B minus 4, that is 20 minus 4, which is 16. And the main thing is this, end equals an empty string. So that is why you will be that none of the options is working over here. It is going to be the first option. Okay. Which is the correct operator for this power?
Third option.
Answer is the second option, my dear. Double asterisk sign, which is used for exponentiation. X raised
Yes,
to
ma'am,
the
second.
power y. है ना? Second. Next, 21. Write the output.
Ma'am, it was true.
It was yes. Answer is true. How it is true? Let's do this and see. I'm going to copy this. Just a second. It's been a long time since I had last taken any classes. So my graphic tablet is out of sorts right now. Okay. So you can see over here we have 10 plus 6 into 2 raised to the power 2. So you have a combination of which all types of operators? You have arithmetic operators. Just a second. Then just give me a moment. I will just adjust my graphic tablet properly. I'm not getting the proper orientation for this. There's too much of stuff on my table, that's why. So you have arithmetic operators. Then which all operators can you spot in this? Can anyone tell me? Any other operator which you can spot in this expression? Arithmetic operators are there. Apart from that, two more types of operators are there. Look closely and tell me.
And
And is which type of operator? It is a logical operator. Okay. And which all, there is one more type of operator. Relational operator. And is a logical operator. Not equal to is a relational operator. Greater than equal to is a relational operator. And arithmetic operator you already have plus, multiplication raised to the power. Okay. Floor division, minus, division. So all these operators you have. Now, according to operator precedence, which operator you should execute first? I mean, out of these three, which category you will execute first?
Exponentiation in arithmetic
First,
category.
you will go for arithmetic operators. And within arithmetic operators also, you will be going for exponentiation, right? That is this part. So it would be 10 plus 6 into 2 raised to the power 2, which is 4. Okay. So now over here, you get some values. Now you are first going to solve. Now let us first mark all the relational operators. So here we have a relational operator. Here we have a relational operator. So this side we can solve easily. This side also we can solve, and this side also we can solve. So what do we get if we start from this side? That is 10 plus 6 multiplied by 4. Multiplication will be solved first according to the operator precedence. So it will be 10 plus 6 into 4, that is 24. Not equal to 9 floor division. Now which one will be executed first? Of course, floor division will be executed first. Okay. So what answer will you get from there? If you divide 9 by 4,
2.
yes. So we'll get the answer as 2. Let me just confirm whether it should be 2 or 2.0. It should be 2 because both 9 and 4 are integers. I'm just going to confirm it once again. Yes, I'm going to get 2 over here. So 2 minus 3. Then you have and also. So and will be kept separate. 29 greater than equal to 29 divided by 9. So what should you get for 29 divided by 9? Everybody tell me, do it in your copies and tell me the answer. 9 3s are 27. So I'll keep on getting this value. Okay. So I'm going to get a value which is 3.222 something. That doesn't matter because I have to compare both the sides. Now quickly we will solve this part also and this part also. So we will be getting what? 34 here, not equal to 2 minus 3, that is minus 1, and 29 greater than equal to 3.222 something. Now it's time for the relational operators. Okay, so that is we are going to compare LHS with RHS. So 34 not equal to minus 1 will give you what? True. And 29 greater than equal to this is also true. True and true. We know that if the first value is true in case of and, it checks the second value. It returns the second value. Second value is also true. So your answer is going to be true. I hope everybody understood this. Next, categorize the error in this statement. What is the error?
Logical error.
Are you sure it's logical error?
Semistic error.
It's not semantic error, it's semantic error. Okay, we'll see it once again. See, num1 is equals to 25. Then there is a semicolon after this. Do we use a semicolon anywhere in Python?
Yes, ma'am, in joining two lines.
No. Do we use semicolon to terminate statements in Python?
Ma'am, it is used to join two lines.
It is used to
Join two lines.
Join.
okay. I'll check this question. Okay, so I'm leaving this over here. And yes, most probably it should be now because I had already set it as syntax error because of this semicolon, because we don't use semicolon as a terminator anywhere in our Python program. Okay. The fact about joining, I have not encountered any such thing, so I'll just check it and find out. Okay. And in that case, divide by 0 error will come under what? It will come under logical error. or it can also come under your okay, I'm going to leave this question right now. Okay, don't worry about this. If there is some discrepancy, the marks would be adjusted for this. Okay, basically it should be your runtime error. It's a runtime error which you get during your execution, that is divide by 0, because num2 is what? It is 0. So num1 divided by num2 will give you that divide by 0 error, right? Which is a runtime error. So I will adjust marks for this question. That is question number 22. Okay. Next is question number 23. What is the order of precedence of operators in Python? So some questions, some categories of operators are given. Parentheses, exponentiation, multiplication, division, addition, subtraction. So you can see that first parenthesis is solved, that is your brackets are solved. Second is exponentiation, third is multiplication. So it is the absolute order which you can see over here, which is your first one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that too, in this, you can see multiplication and division, they are always on the same level of precedence. So whenever in an expression you have multiplication and division both, so what will happen? It will follow left to right associativity. Whichever falls first, whichever is the leftmost operator will be executed or evaluated first. Same with the addition and subtraction also. Write logical expression for the sum of 20 and minus 10 is less than 12. So which option will you choose?
Ma'am, C. Ma'am, D.
It's the D part. Both A and B are true. Okay. The first one 20 minus 10 is written. Second one 20 plus minus 10, which will obviously evaluate to the first one only. What is the output of this expression?
3.
First of all, you will be doing the exponentiation. 1 raised to the power 3, which is 1, multiplied by 3 will give you what? 3. Next, write a Python expression to convert temperature in degree Fahrenheit to degree centigrade. Formula is given. Now this formula is for centigrade to Fahrenheit, but you have to change it to the other one. The answer is second one. Read the question very carefully. That's why I tell you to read the question carefully, not be in a hurry. Convert temperature in degree Fahrenheit to degree centigrade. This formula is for what? It is for converting temperature into Fahrenheit when it is given in centigrade. Just opposite to what has been asked in the question. But it is understandable that you can convert this into the required form and you can easily mark the correct answer. So the correct answer is the second one. F minus 32 multiplied by 5 divided by 9. How many of you went for the first option? You did not read the question, right? See, this is what you people do. You don't read the question. There could be a catch in a question. There could be a twist in a question and you just blatantly, what did you think? Will I give you the direct answer for that? बेटा इसी टाइप के क्वेश्चंस आते हैं. That is why they are known as higher order thinking skill questions. Okay. Choose the correct Python expression to calculate the average of 3 numbers.
A.
Wrong answer. C.
C.
A will give you
Yes, ma'am.
A will divide C by 3, then it will add it to A and B. Operator precedence. Okay, so that is why if you want to execute plus first, you have to enclose this within brackets. Next, identify the data type of this expression.
Complex.
It is complex. What will be the output of? First, you can see str, string, 0.0. So you will convert this into what? Let me show it to you. The question given is this: bool str 0.0. So first you will be executing the inner one, okay? The inner function. String 0.0, that will convert this into which form? It will convert it into the string form. What is the value of this? Now, because this is a string which is a non-empty string, I had told you non-empty values are always considered as true. Okay. So the answer for this is going to be what? True. How many of you selected true? Raise your hand.
Ma'am, I
You selected true. Very good. Question number 30. Why does the expression 3 or 10 divided by 0 does not report an error even if it has a sub-expression with divide by 0 problem? It is 3 or 10 by 0.
Ma'am, option 2.
Because 3 is, yes, because 3 is non-zero. Okay, and non-zero is considered as true, and or just needs one true. First one is true, it will always return the first value. It will not evaluate or execute the second side. Okay, so the answer is second option. Express the expression in Python.
All the above.
D.
All of the above.
All the above. Write a Python expression to calculate roots of a quadratic equation.
First.
The first one.
Answer is first one, because you have two different roots and you cannot calculate it using this one. Okay, so you will have to, and the second one is for what? When the roots are equal, but we never know whether, it is not always necessary that the roots will be equal, so that is why we will be choosing the first one. Which of the following is an immutable data type?
Set.
String.
String is an immutable data type. What will be the output of the code 12 or len 13?
Ma'am,
Answer is
12.
12. 12, because 12 is the first one and it is what? Your non-zero, so it is true. So it will directly return 12. Question 35. If we have a variable message, read it carefully and give me the answer.
Ma'am, false.
False.
Yes, answer is false. Let me explain. If we have a variable message as hello and another variable text, which is asking for value from user, and the input for text is entered as hello, then the result of message is txt will be false. Why? Because this msg is created at some other location and txt is created at some other location. The Python expression to calculate the following equation is: answer is the last one. If you simply write pi, first expression, you can see why it is wrong. X raised to the power is not used correctly. In the next one, the value of pi is unknown. Okay. Third one, what is the error in the third one? Can anyone tell me?
Identifier
It is not
present.
assigned by an identifier.
Yes, it is not assigned any value. It is not assigned to any identifier. So the fourth one is correct. So you can see the difference between the options is very subtle. Okay. So you have to be very particular about the answer, very confident about the answer which you are choosing. Which one of the following has the same precedence level?
Addition and subtraction.
Yes, addition and subtraction. Operators with the same precedence are evaluated in which manner?
Left to right.
Left to right. Complex numbers are made up of dash values.
Float.
Float
Integer.
values.
Float.
The floor value for math for this value is, what is the floor for this value? It is minus 5.
Minus 5.
Yes, minus 4.35. So the largest value, one second. Uh, the largest value which does not exceed minus 4.35 is minus 5. So that makes up your question paper. I hope you have understood where you stand right now or where you went wrong. I hope it is clear to everyone now. Okay. So now today we are going to begin with something else, that is if else statement. We are going to begin with what we known as selection statements. Okay. We have seen the first one, that is sequential programming. So far we have seen sequential programming where the method of programming is very straightforward and you just go on writing some statements. There are input statements, there are processing statements, and there are output statements. So you just go on writing the statements, and finally when you run the program, all the statements are executed in order from top to bottom. Okay, there is no branching, there is no jumping anywhere. So now we will be just introducing, I will be just increasing the level of complexity of programming by one level. Okay, so here you can say that we are going to do some kind of a jumping in from one statement to another. Okay, also branching into multiple statements. We will be working with decision making. What is decision making? We as humans, we are logical beings which are capable of reasoning, decision making. How do you take a decision? Can anyone tell me? I'm giving you a small analogy over here. Suppose it's your birthday and you get a 1,000 rupee note as a present from your parents. Okay, they say that whatever you feel like, you can just go and buy or eat something if you like. Okay, so you have been yearning for a jeans. You have been watching it, you have been uh, window shopping it many times, and you have been watching it and observing it and waiting for it for a very long time. So you were probably waiting for a proper time when you can easily purchase that. Okay, the conditions were just not right because you didn't have the money for purchasing that. But now that you got a 1,000 rupee note from your parents, you think that, okay, I think I can afford buying this. So you make a decision. Now, when you had watched it, you had seen it, maybe the last time when you checked its price, it was some 3 or 6 months ago. And now, because of some kind of maybe because of increase in demand, that store had increased the price of it. So what you decide is you just check online. So you see that online the price has increased, right? So you think that, okay, if I now go to the store, maybe that it is quite possible that they might have increased the price. So you make a decision. You decide upon a condition. What is that condition? Number one is if price doesn't exceed 1,000 rupees, then I will buy jeans, the jeans trouser. Okay. And second is if price does exceed 1,000 rupees, then I will invite my friend to watch a movie. These are the two courses of action which you have thought about. Okay. You think you have created a condition for yourself. Right. That is, if the price doesn't exceed 1,000, then I will buy the jeans trouser. That means it should be either price should be less than or equal to 1,000. So in this case, this condition is satisfied. If I go to the store and I find that they are selling it for 999, then fine, I will go for the jeans trouser, hands down. Okay. But if I find that they have increased the price to 1,500, which I cannot afford because I'm not an earning member of the family. Okay, I only live, um, I get by on some financial support provided by my parents. Okay, whatever they provide me, I just get by on that. So if price does exceed 1,000 rupees, then I will invite my friend to watch a movie. Because, okay, I know that a movie will cost 500 rupees. So 500 plus 500, 1,000 rupees. So we both can enjoy a movie together. Okay. So depending upon the condition, now you don't know what the condition will actually be. Okay. It will all depend upon what the situation. When you go to the shopping mall, when you go to that store, okay, on seeing the price tag only you can decide. तो आप प्राइस टैग देखने के बाद ही आप डिसाइड करोगे. That is, this course of action will be taken, this condition will be checked. At what time? When you are executing your plan. Okay. So when the program gets executed, only then this condition is checked. And depending upon the condition, a particular course of action will be taken. This is your action 1. Okay, this is your action 2. So depending upon the condition, whichever condition fits, if the first condition fits, then obviously you will go for action 1. If the second condition fits, you'll go for action 2. Is this clear? This analogy, is it clear to everyone? Is this example clear in your mind? What is decision making? If you have any questions here, you can ask me. This is known as decision making. That is, you are first setting some conditions, some rules. अगर ऐसा हुआ तो ऐसा कर लेंगे, नहीं हुआ तो ऐसा कर वैसा कर लेंगे. Okay, you people, do you take decisions like this? I would like to ask some students about your personal experiences. You might have come across many such situations in your life where you had to take some course of action depending upon a certain situation. Anybody who would like to share that, just raise your hands. Yes, students, are you all there in the meeting? I'm not getting any response from anywhere. Just raise your hands. Yes, Aliza, would you like to share something? Have you taken
subject.
Yes, tell me. How did you take that decision?
Ma'am, earlier I was deciding about maths, but at the end of 10th class, I come across that I should take biology.
Biology, yes. So what, how did you decide? What was the deciding factor?
Ma'am, I created interest in biology, so maths, I selected biology subject.
Okay. Now see, I'll give you an analogy regarding this only. In your school, there is a criteria, right? That is, they say, I'm taking a rough criteria. If you want PCM, you should score minimum 75% in second maths and science. Okay, so say minimum 75% in maths and science if you want PCM. PCB, maybe I can consider 60% in science, right? And if you want, and the rest can go for commerce. This is one criteria. Some schools might, it's not necessary your school. In our school, we follow a much liberal approach. So some schools might follow this approach. Some schools might completely take up the percentage. That is, if you want PCM, you should score overall percentage 75% and above. That is greater than equal to 75%. If you want PCB, you should score above 60%. Okay. If you want commerce, nowadays even for commerce also the specification has increased. So maybe they can set the specification for commerce also as maybe 80%. And because commerce is set to 80%, obviously PCM would change, and they may even set PCM as something related to 90%, and here for PCB they can set it for 85%. Got it? So this is how they, and the rest can go for arts. That is those which are below 80%, right? So this is a criteria. Now depending upon, now this is a criteria which is set beforehand. Now when your board exam results are out, when results are all, everybody waits for the board results, because that would be the deciding factor. Okay, that is exactly when the program is going to get, this criteria will get executed at that time. So board results are out. Now you were hoping for a 90%, but you didn't get 90%, you got 89%, just 1% less. If it is a very strict organization, it will not allow you for PCM, it will allow you for PCB. So you can just satisfy yourself, okay, fine, I couldn't get into PCM, I'll go into PCB and take mathematics as an optional subject. So you decide on that. Okay, so that completely depends upon the board results. And if it is a liberal organization, they may still allow you PCM. Some person got 45%, barely managed to pass. That person would be going hands down into arts. He will be denied PCM, denied PCB, denied commerce. He would be going into arts. Okay, so this is how programs are also created. So you can also create a program where you can set a criteria that, okay, if a person, depending upon a student's percentage, stream offered to the student is this. तो वो काम आप ना करके कौन कर रहा है, कंप्यूटर कर रहा है, right? So this is how we are going to take decisions. This is known as decision making, and we will be working with selection statements. Now talking about selection, now today this class was just an introduction to decision making. Actual class we will be starting it from day after tomorrow. So I'm just going to tell you what are we going to learn in this selection statement. So very first thing which we are going to learn is simple if statement. Second, we are going to learn if else statement. Third, we are going to learn the if else ladder, which is also known as cascading if. And Fourth one, we are going to study nested if. So these are four forms of your if statement. If is a keyword. Else is a keyword. Elif is also a keyword. These three are the keywords which we will be using in our program. Okay, so we will be beginning with the simple if statement, then we move to if else statement, then if, elif, else, ladder, and finally we would be discussing about nested. So this we will start from day after tomorrow. Okay, so that's all in today's class.